Katherine Skaggs, and this is a full moon reading for July 13th, 2022. We are in a full moon in Capricorn, and it is the third supermoon of 2022, meaning that that looks huge, it's close to the earth, and it brings us lots of energy. We've been in this Cancerian feeling month and time. Have you been feeling that sun energy of Cancer just bringing up all your emotions? They've been up, and with this full moon in Capricorn, it's a great time to expand on what we want to focus on and to bring everything into the light of this full moon with that emotional yumminess that is steadfast, practical, and brings everything down to earth. So let's use that Capricorn energy to bring our hopes and dreams and desires into the forefront so that we can get all the help needed to manifest our reality. You know, bring change, hopes, dreams, all that kind of stuff. I'm working on some new things. And so I realized this full moon in Capricorn is very, very good at getting things done, celebrating what has been created, which I've got a few things to celebrate. I hope you do too. And to move forward to bring some abundance and positivity in. So let's see how that works for all of us, what we need to know for this full moon energy as we expand. And let's see if it can help us be practical and focus on our hopes and dreams in a way that really helps us to create some shift, to bring in some new beginnings as we end the things that we're done with, and to bring in some success, some things that are very abundant, practical, and down to earth. So I'm using the Mythical Goddess Tarot today, doing a 15-card spread for this full moon, July 13th, 2022, and to see what guidance and help we all need as we are walking through this crazy reality. I went and got my hair done today, and I was talking to my hairdresser, and she's like, oh my God, the world is crazy. It's crazy. And she named about 10 things that in her world are just absolutely nuts and different. I mean, she's got to be 40 and she's calling herself old in regards to what's going on. I'm like, oh, honey, you're not old yet. You're not even close. Okay. First 3 cards in this 15-card spread are always about who we are entering into this energy. What's our foundation? What do we need to know about our reality, our perspective, and how we're seeing the world today through this time? What are our gifts as well as what are our challenges as we enter into this question about what's this new moon energy have to tell us and how do we work with it for the best outcome? So right in the middle is the child creative spark. So that's awesome. It tells me that we have this eternal fire with our childlike self to bringing new beginnings through fire, through passion, through our spiritual selves, through our creativity, that we need to own our creative spark as that foundational piece that manifests whatever we desire, that this is at our very core, and this is what is going to be part of our superpower as we move through this full moon in Capricorn to get things done, to create a new way, to give new ideas to what we truly want to achieve, to help us achieve from a different perspective. Now, one of the things about this card sitting here in the center is it's absolutely the place we need to come back to is our creativity, our curiosity, and our open-mindedness and spirit that anything is possible. When we don't feel like it, this is going to be something that brings us healing as well as foundational energy to create new experiences and get beyond the things that are challenging in ourselves and in our lives. Now, as we come into this full moon, with all that Cancerian energy we've got a Piscean card. Let's see, that's in Saturn, and it's the Depletion card. It's an emotional suit card with the C's. So it tells me this Cancerian energy has been challenging us. It's emotionally depleting us, physically depleting us. And so we need to pay attention to that as we come into this full moon to recognize we need rest. We might need to cry so that we can get on with our creative flow. that there's quite a contrast between this depletion card and that child creative spark. So don't ignore if you're tired emotionally, physically, spiritually. Take time for your emotional self. Take time to rest. With all this energy coming in, even though it's Capricorn, that Capricorn energy is like a marathon runner. I can do it. I do it. I do it. I can do it. I work hard. I'm the goat. I have stamina. But there may be some places that you don't have stamina. And there's because this emotional energy has been so high. So pay attention and take care of your emotional self, your intuitive self, that tender part of yourself that needs to lay down. And go into the darkness if you need to, so that when you come out, your light is fully bright. Something to pay attention to as we head into this energy. Along with that fire and that water energy, we have earth. And this is the Crone Ascension. So it tells me we have some wisdom that have come through our earthly experiences, and that it's here to help us bring our light all the way into our physical reality. And that this is a wisdom card that we bring and we ground with this moon energy, is part of what supports us with our spark of light, and even in our restful state, is that we've got everything we need to create and manifest. That we have wisdom within our very bones, our physical DNA, as well as our spiritual DNA that's coming into form in the physical reality. So this is an awesome grounding card. This is an awesome foundation as we move in. Big deal is, though, that we need to take care of ourselves emotionally and pay attention to when we're tired and get some sleep. Because we're integrating a whole lot of energy right now, a lot of shift. So with the emotional things coming up, you might need to sleep extra. You may need to take one big nap or get a good long night's sleep so that you've got the energy and the clarity about your daily life and that you're honoring yourself. Okay? Big picture with this full moon. We have Lilith right in the center. So that makes sense. I have to say, with all the human rights, the women's rights, the rights for every human being, no matter how different they are, whether your color, your gender, your sexuality, where you live in the world, everything is up about personal power. Lilith is Adam's first wife, born equally to man, not from his rib or from his side. And she is an ancient Sumerian goddess and priestess who is here to help us restore our balance between our male and female, our divine masculine and divine feminine, equality, and the ability to just simply be who we are with no excuses, with full sovereignty and power of the divine within us and within our lives. This is up for humanity. This is up for each of us individually, freedom and power. So she tells me with this full moon to take, to honor that spark of your personal desires, to truly follow your heart and do what is right for you. And then the rest of the world, whether they agree or not, it's important to be yourself, follow your instincts, follow your heart's desires, and to be powerfully, authentically yourself, sexually and otherwise. That this is about taking your power back and being 100% honest with yourself and full on in your power so you can be free in this world. And this is part of something we can learn to respect with others and cultivate that in our culture. But first of all, we've got to do it with ourselves. So that full moon is shining some light onto that personal power piece. It's also bringing in the Oracle card, Yamaya. She is the goddess of the seas. Again, this is about intuition. So you've got power and reflectiveness, intuition, emotional energy, psychic awareness. So pay attention to the energies and what you know to be true, to trust yourself, to be authentic and trust your personal desires, but also your psychic feeling senses. Things are going to be up with these energies now, and that you know your way as you look within and trust who you are. Between Lilith and the Oracle, it tells me this is all about going within and know thyself. Do not try to figure out who you are based on what other people think of you. That falls apart all day long, and it doesn't feel good if they don't like you. So this is about going within, trusting your inner compass, trusting your connection to your divinity, and following your path. And that will bring the healing to the rest of humanity as each of us learns to do that. And it helps us to not judge ourselves or judge others, to truly love ourselves and trust what our path is. And it's not all going to happen overnight, folks. This full moon is going to give us some capacity to make some waves, make things happen. But we are coming into an abundance. This is Jupiter energy. This is also balance between the mind and the body, between the inner world and the outer world. And this is all about patience. It's like we're 9.5 months pregnant, and yet it's important that we accept that everything is in order so that we aren't trying to get in our future or live in our past, that we're fully present to the beauty of this now moment, that we're about to birth a new reality, personally and collectively. So don't hurry ahead of where you are. Be present to this time so that you can be in your power, so that you can trust your intuition and trust the timing of it all. That things are very close to manifesting, possibly things you've worked on for a lifetime. So just be patient. Don't let your mind judge whether it's good or bad, that you're here or not here. You're exactly where you need to be, and you're being guided along your path. And that this energy is helping you to come into your power. Oops, as I knock some things over. Oops. Sorry about that. Okay, what are our challenges? What's our lessons right now? And these are the things that our opportunities come from as we embrace our lessons, because, that's where our growth is. So right in the center, we've got Ishel, the Mind Moon goddess. Again, this is reflective inner energy. So as much as that oracle's there looking within and that lunar energy, this is another lunar energy. It's Piscean. Ishel is the rainbow jaguar goddess. And she's this energy of manifesting from the highest places of dream time. So with her sitting here as the moon card in our challenges section, she tells me that sometimes during this moon cycle that's very busy and active in that Capricorn energy, it may be difficult or challenging to truly stop and look within, to know thyself, to be true to that reflective inner state of being. But it's one of the most important things you can do is to go within during the cycle, to stop from the doingness and to go into your inner self, to be in meditation, to take reflective walks in the woods, to take long naps, or to have a really good restful sleep so that you can enter into dream time, to actually do ceremony and ritual, and to go into these journey spaces that are not in linear time. So your homework is to go within. Specifically, go into your dream time and ask for guidance from that higher inner reflective state as to how to be in this outer world. That's your homework. The other one of the other ones is another C's card, which is the emotional suit. It's the child of innocence. So as you go within to that inner emotional state of being, there may be times when emotionally you're feeling a lot of stuff and it's very hard not to be cynical. To actually go within the turmoil of your emotions and to find the still point is going to be your homework. Where is your innocent child self? This is where all things are born of that are beautiful and precious. This card says that you are safe within the storm. And yet that storm is challenging you at the deepest places within your psyche, within your personality, and possibly within your very soul. So within that inner state, it's going to be very, very important. Take breaks and go to meditation. Take breaks and go to journey spaces. Take breaks from linear time and go to that precious childlike place within your being who believes anything is possible. Sit with that part of yourself. Talk to that part of yourself. Rest with that part of yourself. Because this is where your power lives and where new dreams are born, is in that innocent, precious part of yourself. Children love to wonder how good things can be. And in our culture with guns and all the horrible things in the world, not only have adults lost their innocence, but children are losing their innocence. So we need to reclaim that. That's part of our homework. That's part of what we need to work on personally and collectively. But this specific homework is to go into meditation and sit with that precious, precious part of yourself, to remember that you're safe, no matter what it looks like in the outer world, and to begin to imagine and wonder about the beauty that you can create in your life as you come back to that innocence within. Very important part of ourselves. Then the next piece that's part of our lessons and our challenges right now is to take all that inner beauty and then to bring it into the physical. I call this card Works. It's an earth card. It's Capricorn. And it is all about bringing heaven to earth. It's all about dancing, playing, creating from this place of pure connection. So homework, seeing it being in the challenges, is like to really move from meditation, inner clarity, imagination, and dreaming up something wonderful for yourself and your life, and then taking action, doing it in a joyful manner. How do you take your next step once you get clear on what your true heart's desires are, and you create it in a joyful manner? So see where that fits for you right now. How do you take action on your deepest, most pure parts of your dream self, your soul self, in a world that is kind of crazy? So have a sense of humor, have some playfulness. Okay. All right, the next three cards have to do with the action to go along with the rest of this reading here. I kind of give action throughout the whole reading, but this is very specific action that we need to take during this cycle of the full moon. So for the next 30 days or more, it's really important that we face our fear. This is fear of the unknown. This is the mental suit. This is fear where we've buried our hearts. This is where that Aquarian thinker stops and doesn't dream from possibility, but dreams only from fear. Now, I have to tell you, our world is full of fear. We have a division politically. We have a division ethically oftentimes. We have a division financially. We have a division of countries. We have a division of people's opinions morally, spiritually, religiously. And it's causing a duality in where there's a good and a bad, the right and the wrong. Love is having a hard time overcoming fear within our very beings. We have financial fear and fear for our lives. I mean, it's up in a big, big way. So this card being at the center doesn't surprise me. And because, your action is not to go into fear. Your action is to say, oh gosh, where am I mentally fearful? Am I fearful of relationships and loving? Am I fearful of going out in the world? Am I fearful for my finance? Wherever it exists in you, it's important that you face it so you can find that childlike innocence and you can love yourself and start to shed the power of the mental fear that's basically kept you frozen. There's different states of trauma: fight, flight, and freeze. And many people are frozen right now or fleeing from something because there's an embedded fear. And some of it I think is mind control. I hate to say that out loud, but when someone continually projects fear instead of solutions, it affects the herd. It affects us personally, and we begin to crumble under that fear that it's not going to be okay. There's practicality, and then there's just simply being afraid and not knowing what to do. So, very important is to look at your mental attitudes, notice if you're living in anxiety and fear, and begin finding ways to go get on the earth and look for beauty, look for solutions, get into cleansing your heart. And, part of this picture, when I painted it, the heart is buried under the earth. And some people will tell you the biggest 12 inches you'll ever travel is from here to here, however how far that might be for you. So practice getting to your heart to overcome fear, to be compassionate and kind to yourself, and then you can extend that to your friends, your family, your loved ones, and those that you don't know and maybe don't even like. but it's one of the biggest things that we need to do in this cycle right now. And that will include being in integrity. If you are a spiritual person, you look to your divinity, you look to higher mind and possibility, spirit, then it's important as you overcome that fear to integrate these higher energies, love, creativity, all this different energy that is creation energy and positivity, and to practice bringing that through your words, through your thoughts, through your actions, to be in integrity from heaven to earth. You are a divine being. I'll guarantee you that you are a divine being, no matter how hard earth world is at times. And as you work with your spiritual path of looking within, practice bringing that love and light all the way through you. It will not only offset the fear, it'll bring you to joy. It'll help you come into your heart space. And it creates energy that creates synchronicity, that creates cooperation, co-creation, and so much more. We all need to work on our integrity. Get beyond our personal fears, greeds, lacks, all those things, and come back to our divinity. And we'll start finding out how our personal integrity affects and encourages that for all beings. What a process that is. Okay. The High Priestess Isis. She's in her action, so she tells me it's time to go into ceremony. It's time to pray. It's time to be benevolent. It's time to know that we create our reality from the highest parts of ourselves to the lowest parts of our earthly selves. To call upon that higher divine light and to command it to bring it forth, and that we will create anew. That ceremony and ritual can be a very rich part of our lives that help us create and stay in integrity, to offset fear, to be in love, and to feel community. This may also call you to community to be a beautiful leader from your highest heart spaces and spirit into how you gather with others, either as a leader or with beautiful leadership that is bringing light and love into the world. So look at that, where you need leadership, where you need spiritual leadership in yourself and with that of others. Okay, what's our outcome? All right, time to lighten up. If we stay on this course, there's a good sense of path that Uzume, the Fool, that we're going to be returned to a place of new beginnings, a place of wisdom that is born of completing a cycle, coming into a brand new cycle, where it's like the further you go on the path and you truly are becoming awakened, enlightened, in greater love and joy with spirit, the less you know. And that's the Fool. The Fool is light-hearted. The Fool knows the divine always has her back, and that no matter the appearance of things, everything's okay. And that there is protection for that Fool, because that Fool is completely aligned with the divine and not getting stuck in the minutia of the earth world, being much more bigger illuminated awareness. So as we come through this, there's a good chance we're going to be much more lighthearted in this next cycle as we come through it and manifest our true reality and lighten up some. Getting out of fear lightens us up tremendously, or as we lighten up, we clear the fear. So this is like a little bit of an edict to me, but also part of a prophecy of what is promised to us as we work with these energies through this full moon to truly lighten up. And with that comes manifestation. This is an earth card, and she's picked all the fruit off the vine. She is reaping in the benefits of all that has come over these many months and years of life, where there's a full fruit to be shared with the community, that she's taken that home to share with family and all that are on earth. So now's the time, too, as we lighten up, to realize we have great abundance that's manifesting, that this is not just for her. This is for the tribe. So as we lighten up, as we do our part, there's plenty to be shared. There's plenty to be reaped, both of earthly riches and of spiritual riches. So it's important to know that as we go along this path and do our part, everything is provided, and it's here for us to share and to enjoy. An interesting card that's also in the outcome is failure. Now, how can we have that next to the manifestation card, the fruition card? Well, it tells me that old patterns are dying. And this is something actually to be celebrated of. As we're moving into these deeper parts of ourself and manifesting greater integrity, facing fear, clearing it out, we're making different choices because we have to. The way we have been living is not sustainable for our species. All the chaos that's up is because we are demanding change. We have to find a new way. The old ways are not working. This is symbolic of the old ways. Anything that is not of natural world, put into a concrete reality, born of nothing but man-made stuff, is not sustainable and is dying. So any false constructs that do not serve the people or the earth is dying. Any false leaders, any false ways of being, any lies that have been out there to basically have sheep on this planet, guess what? All that's being exposed and is dying. So no, this is the good news, that as we come into the light and a lighter way of being and greater fruition from this planet and the ways, things that we can share, the changes that we're making as we face the fear and we take care of ourselves, that there are things that are going away. And we need to embrace that change, because to me, that's part of what we truly desire. We want greater harmony on this earth. We want something better for our children. We want to live in peace and have enough. We want that for all of us. At least those people I know want that healing that creates a more beautiful world where all of us can live in greater harmony. So the old greed model is up for the chopping block, and we're here just need to do our work, keep loving more deeply, being creative, going within, getting back to our innocence, and letting that be our superpower as we're authentically ourselves. So I enfold you and embrace you in this Capricorn full moon energy. I hope that it brings you all that you truly desire, and that you find these blessings are upon you. And let go of the things that are difficult so that you can truly enjoy the light and be loved and love more deeply. This is Katherine Skaggs and the Mythical Goddess Tarot. Lots of love to you.